It's a time for Package from China! Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in. It's time for the Pandora jungle. Yeah, because we're going to take a close look at one of these Pandora's boxes. And for the people who are not familiar to this, Pandora's box is an all-in-one mainboard that we can play a lot of different things with. Sometimes just main Neo Geo, sometimes you can play, like say, NES, Super Famicom, but it's just a one big jungle and a one big mesh. They are selling these things like inside in 2-player, 1-player, portable. There are so many different form factors, or just like a game console with a crappy controller and a power supply. Most of the time I'm going to get these weird lithium battery charger that seems to be working on 12 volt and they are working with the box. But that is more like one of these things you're going to get. So there's not a lot to talk about. Sometimes you're going to get this toilet paper manual and sometimes you're just going to get this, a box, a power supply and a freaking crappy control. But there is something differently with this one. And that is what makes me really exciting, because today they fix something. So let's find out, let's hook it up and let's see what kind of power we're having. And let's take a close look at it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell, and let's go. Like the title says, this is the Pandora's Treasure 3D number 2. Yeah, I'm saying it correctly this time. So basically this is like lineup of Pandora's Box Key 7, Pandora Box Treasure 3D, and this is Treasure 3D 2. The latest edition, 2021 model, so it's more like a different timeline when it comes to these Pandora's boxes, therefore it doesn't call Pandora's Box, more like Pandora Treasure 3D. And what you can see is like the first thing that they're doing with these boxes, that we're going to get a jumper over here, and when you're plugging in the power supply it will automatically go on. So we have no on and off switch. Sometimes you're going to get the switch that you can plug in, but not with this one. We're not going to use the ADA connection over here because we're not going to use this function. Over here we're going to get a sticker over the CF card. The connections itself are the same like all the other Pandora's boxes, Pandora Game 3D and so other ones. Nevertheless, there are basically two versions out there. The weird thing is the didn't change out. We're having 2 USB ports but only can use one. Just take in consideration settings, volume control, audio, VGA out. Take consideration if you have an old CRT, not all the CRTs are supported by this VGA. HDMI out, and of course we're having the input for the 12 volt. But let's open it up with removing the 4 screws and let's see what kind of juice we're going to get from this thing. So removing the 4 parkers goes very easy. So the casings that they are using are most of the time the same. So some of them are having like a white color, yellow, or it doesn't even matter. Most of the time they're all freaking the same. Okay, so let's plug it out. Sometimes you can just click it out. Yep, like with this one. So the 4 parkers have been removed. Okay. So I'm super curious what are we going to get with the specs. So first of all, this one comes with an active cooling fan. Some are just having this passive block on it. And I'm not a big fan of it. It seems to be that this one has an USB connection. I can tell you when you even try to plug it in, nothing works. They basically sealed it off. The CF card when I'm showing you. So let's remove the fan, because what kind of chip are we going to get beneath? Okay, so this time they added a thermal pad, and yeah, that is not really common. Sometimes they're not putting the effort of doing that, so they're just slapping on the CPU. So this time we're going to get the AM Logic S912. So this is a chip they are using a lot nowadays with more like the, I wouldn't say the high-end stuff, but more like the latest editions. But they are moving around a lot of different parts, like here you can see that sometimes we're going to get an extra chip over here, but it seems to be, it has been modeled over here. So 2 chips, and if I'm saying it correctly, this thing has 1 GB of RAM. It has the S912 AM Logic quad core with, I'm guessing it's more like the Mali 450 MP, if I'm saying it. So that's more like the standard specs that we're going to get with these boards. But okay, let's put it back together, let's boot it up. Before we're going to boot up the system itself, normally what you're going to get are these horrible PlayStation knockoff controllers, or this, it's just disgusting. This thing plays so horrible. It looks kind of comfy, and yeah, form factor is good, but the controls are horrible. This is the most horrible control I've ever felt in my life. But we don't need them, because this box supports way more controllers than the previous models. A great example is this PlayStation 3 controller that I got with the Super Console X PC edition. This controller is not very expensive, these goes around $15 up to $20, but this thing plays superb in every way. It has a really nice touch, it got a very comfortable grip, and this thing seems to be working on the box itself. But also if you just want to grab yourself an Xbox controller, I was using this Xbox 360 one, and yep, both of them can be used on the new box. So also the Pandora Treasure have finally support from controllers, but not only the cheap China ones that are so awful that will not give you a good gaming experience. Alright, so let's take a close look at the menu itself and what are we going to get. So first of all, the menu hasn't been changed a lot, but let's talk about that first. Okay, let's talk about the menu. So the menu itself is more like the common Pandora Treasure menu. Going to get the menu over here, and I can tell you, not the best one. So first of all, we're going to get here 3D, two-dimensional, reset and search. So they added the reset and search to this new edition. So what you're going to get with 3D is very simple. N64, autonomous wave, that is by the way something you don't see very often on Pandora's boxes. PlayStation 1, and so far I know some Dreamcast, or yeah, it was Dreamcast, not Sega Nomi. Nevertheless, with the 3D list, it's not a big list. There are a couple of games on it. And the two-dimensional, it's the same stuff all over again, like all the other Pandora's boxes, MAME, Neo Geo. And so far I know there are no 8-bit or 16-bit stuff over here. What I do like about it is the recent list, and not to forget we have the search. And with the search we're now going to get the option to have some category searching. But they completely messed it up when you're searching, let's say, for fighting games. And you're going to search for, let's say, fighting, shooting. You can see what is going on here. It's more like having the same games in different categories. So I really hate it, that it works for shit. The search engine does work very well, and it works very fast. So that is something that I really like about it. You can see it will search instantly. Oh, messed it up big time. And that's it. And it does have support for Mortal Kombat, but we're going to get into that because this is a story that you just need to see for yourself. Oh boy. But that's it. So let's go to the settings and let's see what they changed out here. Okay, so the settings. There is nothing really interesting here to see. We're having the EO tester, input settings. Let's go to this. Here we're having like the configuration for the controls. Auto fire is now available. Oh, here you can choose which player will be like the USB game port. But in overall, there is not a lot of stuff that they have changed out. They've given us some new wallpapers, the graphic settings, with a video overlay like scanline 1, 2 and 3. Image enhancement, or we're having linear and HQ. And nevertheless, and you can just put it off, but there is no aspect ratio. In my opinion, a little bit disappointing. They didn't add the freaking aspect ratio that we're asking for like a couple of years now. Okay, so let's see if they even improve the emulator. Take consideration that there's not a lot of juice compared with the older models, so the performance will be the same.
Get ready for the next battle.
Oh, can already see it there.
Round 1. Fight.
Okay, what the hell is going on? This is not like it should be. Oh boy. So basically Mortal Kombat is a great benchmark, so let's try. Oh, the sound effects are here. Zubby Wubby. Alright. Oh. He got me cornered. He got me cornered. Stop avoiding my ice blast. But you get the point. This game works pretty good. Okay, so the next up we're going to play the second edition, and you can see that this game later on in the video it will run like crap. Okay, so let's boot up the game. And I find the FPS pretty damn horrible. You can't hear the audio right because it's very low. But I can tell you the audio is not like it should be. And you can see that with Mortal Kombat 1 it seemed to be running fine. But with Mortal Kombat 2 they basically just messed it up. So that's a little bit of a bummer. Wrong button, crap. So when it comes to N64, the first generation games run good enough to enjoy. Like Diddy Kong Racing. Or better said, Diddy Kong farting. We going to fart a bit. I'm going to fart a bit. I'm going to fight a lot. Because of playing Diddy Kong farting is really awesome. Woo! Yeah. But the problem with this freaking thing is that the analog stick and the D-pad are not working, and this is just an issue with compatibility and this freaking mainboard. So I just want to point out, kind of weird, I know. I checked out the configuration, you can't fix it. Okay guys, so the pros and cons. Man oh man oh man, what a mess. So to begin with, there isn't quick load and quick save option. And the reason I didn't really mention it in this video is that because it's very basic and it doesn't even work with the controller with every game. Sega Dreamcast Naomi doesn't even work that well. It works a little bit glitchy, some games are playable, but with the controller you can't do anything. So in my opinion, this board, they are trying to make more like these game systems, but it is just one big gigantic mess. Maybe when you're using the EDA function, yeah, you can fix a lot of issues. But then overall the performance is mediocre, and in my opinion it's the same stuff all over again. I want to thank you for watching, consider subscribing, hit the little bell, become one of the Wicked family, and I will see you in the next video.